Hey besties, welcome back. I'm Sabrina, for those of you who don't know me yet. And this is Sabrina Reads and Roams, where I mostly read. Sometimes I roam, which is to say that I go on business trips and they are not glamorous. And a lot of times I do both at the same time, aka reading on my business trips because I just want to read all the time. And I upload videos every single week, and today's video is going to be my April TBR. So if you watched my March recap, you will recall that I read quite a lot of books in March and that I'm trying to calm it down a little bit for the month of April because I did not intend to read that many books, and I don't know how we got here. It just got out of control. And I am not chasing a number goal for my book reading. I just want to read all the time. But I'm going to come up for air, or I'm going to attempt to come up for air in the month of April. But I don't know, because I feel like I'm already off to a bad start. So here's the deal. When this video goes up, we will be in National Library Week. That being said, I will be on a work trip. So I've already filmed the content for National Library Week, which means I went to the library and I picked up a bunch of books to read at the library. So, right. I don't know how I plan on slowing down, but let's talk about the books that I'm planning to read. Now, first of all, I want to say that none of this is my fault. So, firstly, well, let me do this in order. I picked up A Shadow Crown by Melissa Blair while I was at the library. Now, when I tell you that I stood there and I looked at the Melissa Blair books and I was taken in by the cover, first of all, lovely cover. You know, the book has some good paperweight to it, so I was like, yes, I'm into it. And then I read the back. Melissa Blair is and I cannot say this, so I'm not even going to try to mispronounce it, but she is everything I was trying to say got lost in translation, so pause the screen and read this, please. And so I was like, okay, cool, we love a POC author. And then I spent time looking through all the books that they had from her, and I tried to find which one was the first in the series. Now, a smarter person would have just Googled it. However, I was like, I have college degrees. I can figure this out for myself. So I looked at the publication date, and this one was published first. So I was like, cool, we're going to start this series. Get home, scan it into Goodreads, and this is book number 2 in the Halfling saga. So then I had to go back to the library and pick up book number 1, A Broken Blade. So now I have books 1 and 2 in the 4-book series Halfling Saga by Melissa Blair. I can't wait to get into them. I saw them at Barnes and I was like, these books are so cute. I saw them after I got them at the library. And I was like, these books are so cute and I kind of want to own them, but listen, we're just going to stick with the library, okay? We're going to use our resources because libraries deserve our support. And Barnes & Noble does not need any more of my money. So, I have to read these 2 books. It smells like something's burning in my house. I hope my husband's not on fire downstairs. I also saw Miss Stasia Stark, who is on my TBR, and has been for a while, and this is A Court This Cruel and Lovely. So I do have this whole series on my TBR, and I was shocked that my library had it in stock, so I grabbed it, and they had 4 books in this series. I don't know how many are in this series, but they had them, so I'm like, cool. I rarely see things that I want to check out at the library because I don't like hardcover books, and the library loves a hardcover because it stands up longer and everything. So, and that is just what it is. There are plenty of other things for me at the library besides books, if you can believe that. I do make heavy use of their Libby catalog, so I mean, I'm still supporting the library. But anyway, so I've also got this book. That's the 3rd book, the 3rd physical book that I'm going to read this month, and it's also from the library. And I also picked up this book. It's called Weird Black Girls. It's short stories, and today is April 1st, so I started reading it this morning when I got up in the morning to like make my tea and do my morning ritual. So I am, I don't know, like 5% through this book already. It's interesting. Listen, it's weird, right? And it's just stories about black girls, so it's weird. But I'm digging it. This one actually has a closer due date than the other three. So I'm reading this one first. I'm gonna return it to the library and then I'll read the other ones. Probably gonna take one of those on my trip with me next week for National Library Week. So I'll be reading a library book all week long. So those are the 4 physical books that I plan to read for the month. I do need to add in a physical copy of our book club book, which the poll just closed like 10 minutes before I recorded this video, and Harlem Rhapsody is what won the poll. So I have a little bit of a conundrum because your girl does not like a hardcover book, and the only options for this book are hardcover or the paperback in big print. I could get it on Kindle, but honestly I don't want it on Kindle. I like to annotate for book club, and I can't do that on my Kindle. So do I do the hardcover or do I do the big print, which is I don't, maybe there's nothing wrong with large print, right? Maybe I should just get the large print and call it a day. It's only like $2 more than the regular size. I have to think about that. Anyway, so Harlem Rhapsody will be the 5th physical book that I read for this month. I will say my library is very generous with their checkout policy. So you get it for 3 weeks, and then if no one else has it on hold, it'll auto renew for another 3 weeks, 3 times in a row, before it's due. And we don't have any late fees either. So like, it's super generous. And I may end up extending some of those. We'll see. We'll see. They're not big. They're not heavy, but I mean, they're not like terribly thick, the Melissa Blair's, but they're also like big pages. So I mean, this is 406. This one is 466 pages, but this is a big book. She's a big book, and this is not large print. So, you know, right? I may end up extending some of these at the library. We'll see if we finish them all in March, because there's also the blessings of the Libby gods to consider. So, and I say that because anyone who uses Libby knows that Libby giveth when Libby feel like it, right? Like, I have them all planned out, and then it's like, what if I just gave you 6 at once? And then you have to kind of like stagger them, and then when you were ready for one that was ready, it's not ready for you anymore. It's a toxic relationship. So I just live by whatever the Libby gods have decided I deserve for the month. I will say, based on where I am in line for a bunch of different books and what should be ready, what I think should be ready in the month of April, I think that I should be able to read James by Percival Everett, The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and Unravel Me by Tahereh Mafi. So I think those are the 3 that are going to come up in the month of April. And that's plenty. That is plenty. I don't need more than that. So we're going to chill with that, and I'm going to try to read them at a leisurely pace. It is April 1 though, and I do need to keep my Kindle streak alive. So I was on Kindle, or maybe it's in KU, I don't remember. There is a sneak peek of V.E. Schwab's Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and that became available at midnight today. So that has already like downloaded itself to my Kindle, and I'm going to kind of take my time reading through that. It's not very long, but I want to read through that a little bit at a time each day, and until one of my Libby books becomes available. And in the meantime, I'm gonna try to spend more time on the physical books that I need to get to, so I can get those back to the library, which is not my style. I usually like to race through all of the books, the physical, the Kindle, the audio, everything. I also like super duper want to read the Silo books. Now those are available on KU, which I have a subscription to KU that my husband and I share. And we watched the TV show because I was like, I don't have time to read every book on my TBR. So let's just watch the TV show and knock out Silo. Well, the TV show just made me want to read the books more. So they're on my to be read list. They're at the top of the list, but I am just trying to control myself and not dive straight into them. I have a feeling that I might end up reading them this summer, like either like June or July, if I can hold off that long. However, if Libby does not cooperate and send me the freaking books that I want to read right now, I'll probably jump into the Silo series if I just can't wait any longer. Because again, I do need to keep my Kindle reading streak alive. I'm at 303 days and something inside of me will not let me stop short of 365. I am very much toying with the idea of letting that streak go once I get to 365, just to like prove that I could do it. I could read every single day on my Kindle for a year. And I emphasize on my Kindle because it's not that I wouldn't read every single day. It's just reading on my Kindle every single day. And sometimes I'm like, I'm so deep into this physical book, I don't want to stop to read a Kindle book. But then my brain's like, girl, what about your little streak? And I'm like, girl, you're right. So, so I think I'm trying to convince myself to get to 365 and then let it go. I don't know if that's going to happen. Because why not add on a second year? You see, it's diabolical. I need to go to therapy. So yes. And lastly, I have 2 trips in the month of April. One of them is a lot shorter than the other one, but the first one is gonna be, let me see, 7 hours of driving there and 7 hours of driving back. So that's 14 hours. The second trip will probably take me about 4.5 hours there, 4.5 hours back. So, you know, for the month, that's a lot of hours in the car. I keep my audiobooks on 1.2x speed. I don't know what possessed me to ever do that in the first place, but now that I've done it, I cannot go back. When I listen to it at 1x speed, it's like listening to something underwater. It's moving in slow motion and I don't know why they're talking so slow. So now that I've heard it in 1.2, I can't go back, and I'm trying to keep myself from speeding it up any further because I don't want to get to a place where I'm like, I can only listen to audiobooks on 2.8x speed and like I'm just a mad person. So that being said, I've only picked out one book that I want to listen to on audiobook this month, and it's by Rebecca Yarros. It's In the Likely Event. So I don't know what I'm going to do when I finish that one. I think that was like a 16-hour read or something, a 16-hour listen or something like that. So I'm obviously going to have more time than that on the road. I don't know what I'm going to listen to after that. I might just let the fates decide for me. I might give up on some of my Kindle or some of my Libby holds and get them on Audible. I don't know. I think I still have 10 credits left for the year. I did the annual plan. So because they gave me a really good deal on it and I couldn't resist. So I don't know what my other audiobook might be. And again, that's just driving hours. I also, in theory, I do 1 hour of chores every day after work. And while I'm doing those chores, I listen to an hour of audiobook. So that's in theory, that's another, what, like 22 hours of listening time in the month. So I don't know, y'all. I feel like that's still a sizable list. I mean, we got 5 physical books, 3 that I think I'm getting from Libby, and then 1 audiobook. So, I mean, that's still 9. Can I do math? So that's like 9 books that I am planning to read, and then also maybe the Silo books. So potentially 12. And I'll probably listen to another audio. So that's like, I mean, we have the potential for 13 books. And I said I was going to cool it. I did 15 books in March. I said I was going to cool it. So yeah, I'm just like not trying to commit to much more than that, if that makes sense. But anyway, I don't know how long this video is. It may actually be pretty short. I was going to attach it to the March review, which you can see I'm wearing the same outfit from that video because it's literally been 2 seconds for me. But I will say thank you for stopping by, and if you like what you see, I would love for you to subscribe because I like to have people to hang out with me. And also, if you could, more than subscribing, I mean, please subscribe, but more than that, please leave a comment, because I want to know what you're planning to read for April, and if any of the books that I'm going to read are on your April TBR, because I want to talk about it. Like, that's the whole point of me starting this channel, is I wanted to talk about the books that I'm reading, but I would love for someone to talk back to me. My husband doesn't read the books that I like to read. My book club has 2 months in a row voted against what I wanted to read, and I just want to talk about the books that I want to talk about, and I want someone to talk back to me about them. So maybe that's you. Let's do it in the comments, besties. And I will catch you in the next video, which should be my library video, because it's National Library Week.